Intermittent fasting or circadian fasting? And which one's actually better for weight loss? Now look, here's the thing, right? Intermittent fasting generally puts a big emphasis on eating within a 6 to 8 hour window and then fasting for the remaining 16 or 18 hours, whatever you're choosing to do. But the problem with IF is that there's never a fixed window. So people constantly keep changing their fasting windows or eating windows to suit their schedule, which is great because it kind of gives you that flexibility. But I just want to say this because we're on this topic, that if you're a woman, there is enough research out there that proves that prolonged intermittent fasting along with having calorie restricted diet is going to affect your hypothalamus. Now, why is that a problem? Because it will actually disrupt the release of GnRH. GnRH is gonadotropin releasing hormone. When this gets affected, the way your body regulates LH and FSH is also affected. In short, what it means is that you're going to have irregular periods and reduced fertility. A lot of women also complain of not being able to sleep well, which has its own other issues, and it has shown to increase cortisol by almost 50%. That can actually eventually cause you to gain weight. Now, one of our clients was actually following a very tough intermittent fasting schedule and she just wasn't losing weight. She was also obviously eating less. Part of this plan of hers was eating a very high fat diet. Her hormones were all over the place and she struggled with acne too. Now, instead of asking her to continue with the 16 to 18 if routine, we encouraged her to try the circadian fasting diet, which is basically a method of eating which aligns with your body's internal clock. Now, in circadian fasting, what happens is that the cycle is divided into two phases. The light phase, sunrise onward, and then the dark phase, which is after sunset. From an evolutionary perspective, the light phase is designed for activity and eating and, basically getting stuff done. And the dark phase is for rest, recovery, and to relax. So the idea is to eat your heavier meals earlier in the day and have a small snack for dinner. Now, when I say small snack for dinner, I promise you, I don't want you to starve. But when you eat a big meal post 6 p.m., which is a lot of people do this while following intermittent fast, they skip their breakfast and then they have a heavy dinner. What happens is you will trigger the release of cortisol, and that will not allow your melatonin, which is your sleep hormone, to be secreted properly. Which means not only are there chances of you disrupting your sleep cycle, but potentially gaining weight as well, because a heavy meal will cause also insulin to go up, sort of spike later in the day, which is the exact opposite of what your body naturally prefers to do. Now, your body's circadian rhythm can influence your energy and your metabolism, and we know all of this, right? So you need to start practicing circadian fasting, actually having your biggest meal before 6 p.m. and then, like I said, have a small snack for dinner. Again, the small snack needs to be something that doesn't raise your sugar level too much. Of course, if you're having sleep trouble, then you can have a small snack in the form of a fruit or maybe even some rice with bone broth. I love that combination. Now, when you do this, it's going to give you better and sustained energy. It balances your body's inflammatory markers as well. Things like HSCRP, those get balanced out, and this will ultimately lead to, better quality of life. Again, as usual, if you have any questions, you can post them below because I can take it up next.